Evaluate the integral by making the given substitution. So the integral is x squared times the square root of x cubed plus 1 times dx. And the given substitution is u equals x cubed plus 1. So let's first take a look at the given substitution. So the given substitution, in this case, they're telling us that we're going to let u equal x cubed plus 1. Okay, now the next step is we're going to take the derivative of both sides. The derivative of u is going to be 1 du, and the derivative of x cubed is going to be 3x squared dx, and the derivative of 1 is 0. Okay, now if you take a look at the question up here, we can see that we have x squared times dx. So therefore, this is what we want. But we need to get rid of that 3, so in order to get rid of that 3, we have to divide both sides by 3. So I'm going to divide both sides by 3, and therefore, we're going to see that we have 1/3 du is going to equal x squared dx. Okay, now in step 4, we're going to rewrite the original question. So we have the integral again, x squared times the square root of x cubed plus 1 dx. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is take a look at what's happening with this integral. And so what's happening with this integral is the following. We can see that we have x cubed plus 1 under the radical sign. Well, that's what we let u equal. So we're first going to just put that substitution, which is the square root of u, since that's what x cubed plus 1 is equal to. Now we have x squared times dx. Well, you can see over here, x squared times dx is equal to 1/3 times du. So now we're going to write times 1/3 du. Okay, so now we want to take the antiderivative of this. So the first thing we're going to do is factor out the 1/3. And then we're going to rewrite the square root of u as a fractional exponent. So we know that this represents 1, and then the index is 2. So we're going to have u to the 1/2 du. And then now we're going to take the antiderivative of u to the 1/2. So we get 1/3. Remember, the definition of finding the antiderivative is saying 1/2 plus 1. Now remember, 1 is the same thing as 2 over 2. And then in the denominator, we're going to have the same thing. It's going to be 1/2 plus 2 over 2, and then plus the constant c. So now we're going to take 1/3 times, well, this is u to the 3/2, and then the same thing, 1/2 plus 2 over 2 is 3/2, and that's plus c. Okay, now keep in mind that since this is in the denominator, if we take the reciprocal of that, it's going to now be 2/3 times u to the 3/2. So therefore, this becomes 1/3. And now, since this is 2/3, 3/2 in the denominator, it's the same thing as taking 2/3 times u to the 3/2 plus c. And so therefore, let's go ahead and multiply. So 1 times 2 is 2. 3 times 3 is 9. So that's 2/9 u to the 3/2 plus c. And now the last thing we just need to do is to then replace u with what we said the substitution was at the beginning, which is x cubed plus 1. So therefore, we have 2/9 times parentheses x cubed plus 1 to the 3/2 power plus c. And therefore, there is our result.